It's time for Vanessa Roman's Property Perspective on News 95.7, your guide to buying or selling a home. Brought to you in part by the Villages of Seven Lakes. Now here's your host, real estate expert, Vanessa Roman.
Hello and welcome to Property Perspective. I'm your host, Vanessa Roman. And this week, we will be talking about downsizing on the show today. I don't know about you, but for me, the word downsizing, I don't know, it feels negative somehow. Technically, I suppose it means to shrink the size of something. So that in and of itself isn't necessarily negative, unless you're talking about the company that you work for. If they start downsizing, you may find yourself out of a job. But when it comes to real estate and housing, downsizing generally referred to reducing the size of the property that you live in and the amount of stuff that you have. And when I hear that word, I don't know, downsizing, it makes me think of people aging. So it brings to mind, this image of an elderly couple giving away most of their worldly possessions, leaving the home that they've lived in for 50 years, to move to a condo somewhere, Florida or something. I can certainly tell you that in the middle of a maritime winter, I feel envy of the seniors cooking on a beach in Florida. And even though the move to a more manageable property may be a good thing for a variety of reasons, downsizing to me still feels like something's being lost. So, in real estate, we love coining new phrases, and downsizing is one of those negative words that I am just going to say is out. This year, 2016, we are going to start using a more positive phrase. And as much as I would like to take credit for this new word, I am certain that someone somewhere has thought it up long before I did. And that word is smart sizing. Smart sizing. Don't you feel a rush of positivity right now? Housing trends come and go, and so too do the people buying and selling property. And over the last 25 years or so, North America has been in a bit of a building boom, and bigger was always better. So someone, again, not me, coined that term McMansion, and that was used to describe the cookie-cutter monstrosities we'd like to call home. And thankfully for the pocketbook and the environment, that McMansion trend is coming to an end, and people these days are seeking smaller, more environmentally friendly houses. They are smart sizing. And smart sizing to me means finding the right sized property for your individual needs. And it isn't a negative thing. It's a smart thing to purchase a home perfectly suited for your lifestyle, your needs, and your budget at any stage in your life. This applies equally to first-time home buyers who want ultra energy efficient houses with a smaller building footprint, to property ladder climbers with expanding families, to baby boomers with shrinking families, and seniors who would rather spend more time with family members or traveling or any other form of recreation without the burden of having to maintain or pay for a large property. Choosing to smart size embraces positivity by making sound real estate choices, and to me, it's the only way to move forward. We are going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we have a great lineup of guests on the show today. We will kick things off with Glenda White, who is a real estate agent with Exit Realty Metro. And then we will have Natalie Leonard from Passive House E-Design in the studio. Later on the show, we will be chatting to Chris Bowie from Beautiful Baths Renovations here in Halifax. And finally, we will end the hour by talking to Brad Harnett from the Seven Lakes Development in Porters Lake. We have lots of useful information for you about downsizing, or smart sizing, as we are now going to call it, which is coming up, and you are not going to want to miss a second of it. So stay tuned, and we will be right back. It's an open house not to be missed. Join me, Vanessa Roman, Saturday, March 19th from 1 to 4 for the grand opening of the newest show home in the Seven Lakes community in Porters Lake. There'll be home tours, prizes, and lots of fun for the whole family. The Hillcrest is a stunning, ultra energy efficient 2-story home from Denham Homes with 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and a single garage. The main floor features an open concept design with a beautiful kitchen and spacious living and dining rooms. Have the home of your dreams in the beautiful Seven Lakes community surrounded by nature, with walking trails, a community garden, beaches, and even a toboggan hill. Don't miss the grand opening, Saturday, March 19th, in the Seven Lakes community located just off Exit 20 in Porters Lake. See you there.
Buying or selling real estate is the largest single transaction most of us will make. Hi, I'm Byron Balcom, legal counsel for Anderson Sinclair in Halifax. We're proud to provide you with experienced, professional, and friendly legal services at the lowest possible price. And now buying or selling your home has never been easier thanks to myclosing.ca. Enjoy convenient at-home signing, complete transparency, and fixed fee pricing. So no surprises. Visit myclosing.ca to find out more or call me today for a free consultation at 1-877-343-9894. Thank you.
More than 9,100 Nova Scotians sold their home last year.
And they did it with help from their realtor.
Your realtor is your trusted guide throughout the buying and selling process.
They'll listen to your needs to serve your best interests.
They will share their knowledge and experience.
And they'll advance your home ownership goals.
Learn more about how realtors can help you at nsrealtors.ca.
Choosing the right agent is key to getting the best real estate deal. Vanessa Roman is the right agent. Whether you're an experienced investor or developer or a first-time home buyer, Vanessa is a skilled real estate agent who will exceed your expectation. Vanessa specializes in military and RCMP relocations. So if you want to buy a new home or sell your existing property anywhere in HRM, choose the right agent, Vanessa Roman. Visit her website at vanessaroman.ca to learn more.
As retirement approaches, the prospect of downsizing into a new, affordable, energy-efficient manufactured home in a friendly village-like mobile park certainly has its appeal. Like moving into a new house, moving into a mobile home has its own set of challenges. The transition can be difficult if you're moving from a big house to a smaller manufactured home. Planning as far in advance of the move can certainly add organization to what usually turns into a massively stressful and chaotic time. Here to give us a few basic tips to get things right is Realtor Glenda White from Exit Realty Metro. Glenda, it's always a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Always a pleasure to be here, Vanessa.
So as a realtor, one of the areas you specialize in is the mobile home market.
Mm-hmm.
So for listeners who want to downsize into a mobile home, how does buying trailers different from buying, say, an average house in HRM?
Well, one huge thing, and that's why a lot of people go towards the mobile home market, is because of the closing costs. They're a lot less. When you buy a home, you have, in Nova Scotia, you have a 1.5% deed transfer tax, or let me rephrase that. It depends on what part of Nova Scotia that you live in. I just sold a house in Cambridge, and there is no deed transfer tax there. So it really, varies. But with a mobile home, there isn't any deed transfer tax. So it keeps the costs much lower.
And what's the reason for that? So a deed transfer tax when you're buying your average home in HRM is physically the deed transferring from one person to another.
That's correct.
So in the mobile home market, why is there not a deed transfer?
Because you don't own the land that the property sits on, the mobile home sits on. It's a lease pad, so you actually have to pay lot rent. You do pay tax, so a lot of people get confused. You pay tax to the government, but on the mobile home itself. So you do pay a yearly tax. You just don't pay the deed transfer tax because you do not own the ground. So basically you pay a pad fee, and they vary from park to park. But on average, they're right around $330 a month. Also, some mobile home parks you actually pay for water, and some mobile home parks you do not. So there's a really wide variety on whoever the owner is of the mini home park and what is actually included and not included.
I often hear people talk about manufactured homes mobile homes, and trailers. Is that is like all of those words interchangeable for the same thing, or are those three separate packages?
They're ultimately they're the same thing. It's just basically goes by the year of the property. So the old ones, like nowadays, you'll never see a 12 wide mobile. There's just no such a thing. They don't even make them anymore. They make them from 14 wide and above. The most common one that you'll see right now is a 16 wide. People just want the biggest space, and that's the biggest that you can get, unless you go somewhere else where somebody does a double wide, which then becomes a manufactured home, which actually isn't classified as a mobile home or a mini home.
Okay, so when you say 12 wide, you mean 12 feet wide. Yes.
Yes.
So then now what you're saying is currently people are building mobile homes, and they are 16 feet wide.
Some of them are 18. I think there's only a few parks that have 18 wide, and the reason why is because the lots are only a certain size, so they have to fit in. And but in a couple of parks in Lower Sackville, there is a couple 18 wides, but it's very uncommon.
And then so the difference between that 18-foot wide sort of trailer and a manufactured home, what are those two differences?
Well, first and foremost, I would say if it's an 18 wide, it's definitely a mobile home, not a mobile. Which a mobile is what the older style ones. They have the metal roof. They don't have the pitched roof with shingles. They're a very different product. Like most of the new ones now, it's unheard of to ever see oil, and a lot of the parks will not even. They don't even allow it. They have to be converted to electric heat or a heat pump. Most of the new ones, I would say probably 95 to 90% of them, they all have heat pumps in them, and they're very efficient.
So they really just look like houses, basically.
Absolutely.
Whereas sort of historically, they just look like, containers.
Yeah, and I mean, people go in and they special order them now, so they could have 2 bathrooms, an ensuite bathroom. I mean, that's something that was unheard of back in the day. You had your typical trailer, long hallway, and everything was pretty much the same. That's not the case now. Everything's very open concept, very modern, and you get a lot of senior citizens that it's an ideal place for them to go because everything's on one level. There's not a lot of stairs, maybe 2 or 3 to get up inside, and that's about it. They're fantastic.
For those of you just tuning in, we're speaking with Glenda White from Exit Realty Metro. And Glenda is giving us the 411 on all things mobile homes, trailers, manufactured homes, which is a fantastic option for people looking to downsize. So, Glenda, let's talk about some of the mortgage financing, because I know with a typical house, you have mortgage financing and that bank will secure the asset, but also the land. So what you have said is that when you're buying mobile homes, you don't own the land. So is that a different type of mortgage? Yeah,
it's almost like buying a car, actually. It's a chattel mortgage. So oftentimes I'll meet with clients and they start to talk about a mortgage, and it's really not a mortgage. It's more like a personal loan almost, like for a car, but it's attached to it.
So what does chattel mean? What does that word even mean?
Well, a chattel is something that moves. A fixture is something that's attached. Like in your house, if you have a built-in oven, that's a fixture. It's attached in. Well, a mobile home is movable. So people can actually, get a truck and move them onto another piece of land somewhere else if they like.
So when it comes to actually getting the financing, is it as easy as walking into any bank and getting the mortgage?
Depending on what you're getting. I mean, I have some people that they'll actually just get a line of credit and they will buy it, as a line of credit because it is a chattel. It's a movable object, right? And then other people, they'll take it out over 5 years and whatnot. But some of the banks that I deal with, they're not all created equal. Some of them, if you go to sell a year down the road, you're going to have to pay interest and penalties. There's banks out there, and I'm not getting into specific ones, but they do not charge that. So you can literally sell when you like, and you just pay off what you owe, and that is it, and there's no penalties attached.
So that would be another really good piece of advice that you could give to your clients in that you have to shop around to get yourself the best deal.
Yeah. And you get some people that come in and say, I'm with a specific bank. I've been with them for years and I want to use them. I say, you know what, that's up to you. But I also give them the options of here's what I know is available in the marketplace, and then they have to make a decision from there which works best for them.
Well, Glenda, thank you so much for coming in today. For listeners that are interested in downsizing into a mobile home or maybe getting into the market for the first time, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Glenda at glendawhite.ca.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, we will have Natalie Leonard in the studio with us. Natalie is a civil engineer and also one of the first certified passive house consultants in Canada. Natalie is a passionate environmentalist, and she is committed to building cost-effective, beautiful, and super energy-efficient houses using the passive house concept. Stay tuned, and we will be back with Natalie just after this. It's an open house not to be missed. Join me, Vanessa Roman, Saturday, March 19th from 1 to 4 for the grand opening of the newest show home in the Seven Lakes community in Porters Lake. There'll be home tours, prizes, and lots of fun for the whole family. The Hillcrest is a stunning, ultra-energy-efficient 2-story home from Denham Homes. With 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and a single garage, the main floor features an open-concept design with a beautiful kitchen and spacious living and dining rooms. Have the home of your dreams in the beautiful Seven Lakes community surrounded by nature, with walking trails, a community garden, beaches, and even a toboggan hill. Don't miss the grand opening, Saturday, March 19th, in the Seven Lakes community located just off Exit 20 in Porters Lake. See you there.
When buying a home, it pays to shop around. The mortgage process can be intimidating and many Canadians pay too much in mortgage interest. Hi, I'm Jack Cameron from Premier Mortgage Centre. I am here to help. As an independent Premier Mortgage advisor, I have over 40 lenders. I'll work with you to determine the best product for your needs. So whether you're buying a home, renewing, or refinancing your mortgage, I am here to help get the right financing from the right lender at the right rate. Visit me today at thewayhome.ca.
Choosing the right agent is key to getting the best real estate deal. Vanessa Roman is the right agent. Whether you're an experienced investor or developer or a first-time home buyer, Vanessa is a skilled real estate agent who will exceed your expectations. Vanessa specializes in military and RCMP relocations. So if you want to buy a new home or sell your existing property anywhere in HRM, choose the right agent, Vanessa Roman. Visit her website at vanessaroman.ca to learn more.
Buying or selling real estate is the largest single transaction most of us will make. Hi, I'm Byron Balcom, legal counsel for Anderson Sinclair in Halifax. We're proud to provide you with experienced, professional, and friendly legal services at the lowest possible price. And now, buying or selling your home has never been easier thanks to myclosing.ca. Enjoy convenient at-home signing, complete transparency, and fixed-fee pricing, so no surprises. Visit myclosing.ca to find out more or call me today for a free consultation at 1-877-343-9894. Thank you.
Selling a home?
A pre-inspection will increase showings and help you sell faster.
Homes with a pre-inspection provide buyers more info up front, which gives peace of mind.
A certified and insured inspection with a buyer's choice provides a detailed report with an itemized list of the condition of the home.
This isn't a simple task for just anybody.
Trust Zdenko Yorick and his team from A Buyer's Choice Home Inspections to inspect it once and inspect it right.
For more info, go to greaterhalifax.abuyer'schoice.com.
Saving money on household energy costs is always a hot topic here in Nova Scotia. The more energy efficient your home is, the more comfortable it will be. And of course, it's going to save you money on your utility bills while helping to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Here to discuss some of the innovative technology being incorporated into some housing projects here in Nova Scotia is Natalie Leonard from Passive House eDesign. Natalie, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So what is the passive house concept?
It's a German standard that started in the 90s around ultra-efficient homes, high-performance homes. And it's been in North America about 10 years now. And really what it is a focus on the building envelope. So we want to save as much energy as we can, reduce those transmission losses, which helps add comfort to the house. So it is a set of standards, and you can certify to this specific standard. And really what it boils down to is we achieve heating costs of about $200 a year for homes built to this standard.
$200 a year.
Yes, and we've worked now on 40 projects, mostly here in the province, and we now have some good data back from our clients showing that their heating costs are generally, on average, about $200 a year.
So why is this type of housing design ideal for the Canadian climate?
Well, in Canada, we have a very long, cold winter, as we all know, although this winter hasn't been as bad as last. And Canadians use about 45% of all energy on buildings. We're one of the highest in the world, not surprising given our climate. So there's a huge opportunity to reduce the greenhouse gases and affect climate change in a positive way, but also affect our pocketbooks and give us energy security going into the future.
So when it comes to the air quality inside the home, I know when you have such a tight building envelope, sometimes moisture does build up on the inside of properties. So what types of systems do you have in place to alleviate that and to improve the air quality?
So with a passive house, you can always open the windows just like a traditional home. But during the winter time, we don't want all that heat loss associated with ventilating through the windows. So we use what's called a heat recovery ventilator system. What it does is brings fresh air into the house, exchanges it over the exhaust air leaving the house, and captures the heat and sometimes the moisture from that exhaust air, and that allows us to bring fresh air into the house through mechanical ventilation. It's constant. It's designed specifically to provide very high indoor air quality. It removes the excess moisture, smells, and CO2 that's generated when we live in the houses. So you have very, very good indoor air quality in these houses. It's just achieved with technology rather than just relying on your windows.
For those of you that are just tuning in, we are speaking with Natalie Leonard today. Natalie is from Passive House eDesign, and she is telling us about a design concept that is called Passive House, and it's all about having ultra energy efficient properties. So when it comes to design restrictions, what are some of the key characteristics that you would see in a passive house, and are there limitations for people when building homes of any style?
There's really no limitation to the style or the vernacular of the home, although there is some design concepts that help you achieve energy efficiency more quickly. I always tell clients we achieve 50% of the energy efficiency through good design, and then 50% through the building assemblies and the mechanical systems we use in the buildings. So things like keeping a compact, simple building shape is more energy efficient, centralizing your plumbing, having your daytime living on the south side of the house, capturing as much solar gains as you can from the free heat of the sun are some of the principles that go into good design of a passive house.
I know I recently visited one of the passive houses here in HRM, and one of the cool features I saw was the really thick windowsills. You know, it almost felt like it was very craftsman style, and had I not been specifically pointed out to that feature, I wouldn't necessarily have noticed it as much. So what is the reason behind having such thick windowsills?
So typically in our buildings, about 50% of the heat loss is through the walls. So because we want to super insulate those walls, we typically end up with a wall that's about 16 inches thick. It's much thicker than a typical house. And with the windows on the outside of the building, as you normally would, you then end up with these deep windowsills. And our clients actually love them. They're great for plants. Some pets find a home on them. And it often ends up as extra seating for company as well.
Let's talk a little bit about cost now because, building a new home certainly comes with many, many advantages. And I would think for my dollar, having the most energy efficient build possible makes so much sense. So if you were to build, your sort of standard R2000 home versus one of the passive designs, is there going to be a huge difference in cost initially?
We're seeing anywhere from 0 to 5% increase in the construction cost of the building. The big reason we can achieve that low incremental cost is because we super insulate and get the building envelope to such a point that we don't need a traditional heating source. The heat demand on these houses on the coldest day of the year with no sun is essentially the equivalent of 2 hair dryers. So we can have a really tiny heating system. So we take the money that we would have spent on an expensive central heating system and reinvest that in insulation, better windows, and air tightness. So what our goal with all our clients is to have their mortgage and energy costs be the same as if they built a code-built house.
I can't believe, like 2 hair dryers worth of energy to heat the entire house. Like, what size house are you basing that stat on?
Somewhere around 2,000 square feet.
So not a small house.
Not a tiny house.
So is this house ridiculously suffocatingly hot in the summer then?
No, with good design, you're going to shelter the house from the direct sun in the summer. And because the house has so much thermal mass, like typically we have about 14,000 pounds of cellulose in one of our buildings. This cellulose can really absorb the heat, and as well the concrete in the building also absorbs the heat, and then it radiates it back out. The reverse happens in the summer. It holds the cool. So you can have hot days and walk into a passive house and it almost feels air conditioned. It takes several very hot days before the whole building starts to warm up.
So what advice do you have for people that are considering a new home construction project and maybe they want to get a bit more information about passive house?
Efficiency Nova Scotia is very knowledgeable about passive house. They have some consultants that can provide some preliminary information. My big piece of advice is concentrate on the design, get the right design for your site, and then invest in the updated construction methodologies to help you achieve that energy efficiency.
Well, thank you, Natalie, for coming in today. For listeners that would like to get in touch with you, what's the best way?
Our website's probably the easiest way. Our contact information is there, and that's passivedesign.ca.
Excellent. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will be speaking with Chris Bowie from Beautiful Baths and Renovations here in Halifax. Chris says that bathrooms are one of the key areas in any home, and there are many ways to transform these spaces within every budget to appeal to buyers and sellers of all ages. Stay tuned. We'll hear what Chris has to say just after this. It's an open house not to be missed. Join me, Vanessa Roman, Saturday, March 19th from 1 to 4 for the grand opening of the newest show home in the Seven Lakes community in Porters Lake. There'll be home tours, prizes, and lots of fun for the whole family. The Hillcrest is a stunning, ultra-energy efficient 2-story home from Denham Homes with 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and a single garage. The main floor features an open concept design with a beautiful kitchen and spacious living and dining rooms. Have the home of your dreams in the beautiful Seven Lakes community surrounded by nature with walking trails, a community garden, beaches, and even a toboggan hill. Don't miss the grand opening, Saturday, March 19th in the Seven Lakes community located just off Exit 20 in Porters Lake. See you there.
Selling a home?
A pre-inspection will increase showings and help you sell faster.
Homes with a pre-inspection provide buyers more info up front, which gives peace of mind.
A certified and insured inspection with a buyer's choice provides a detailed report with an itemized list of the condition of the home.
This isn't a simple task for just anybody.
Trust Zdenko Yorick and his team from A Buyer's Choice Home Inspections to inspect it once and inspect it right.
For more info, go to greaterhalifax.abuyerschoice.com.
Going to sell it with EXIT. You're going to sell it with EXIT.
Is there a move in your future? Exit Realty Metro has over 150 agents ready to serve all of your real estate needs. We'll put the latest technology and systems to work for you. Leave your worries behind and let us take you home. Ask about our digital marketing strategy. Visit exitmetro.ca.
You're going to sell it with EXIT. Put the sign on your lawn. You'll never go wrong.
Choosing the right agent is key to getting the best real estate deal. Vanessa Roman is the right agent. Whether you're an experienced investor or developer or a first-time home buyer, Vanessa is a skilled real estate agent who will exceed your expectations. Vanessa specializes in military and RCMP relocations. So if you want to buy a new home or sell your existing property anywhere in HRM, choose the right agent, Vanessa Roman. Visit her website at vanessaroman.ca to learn more.
John, when are you going to do that beautiful bathroom remodel you promised? Honey, is that Henry the handyman in our bathroom?
Here's Chris Bowie from Beautiful Baths Renovations.
When it comes time to remodel your bathroom, you could give Henry the handyman a try, or you could call us. to celebrate our 20th anniversary of providing beautiful bath remodels, we have a special offer on now. Visit us online at beautiful-baths.ca or call us for your free in-home consultation at 434-8088. That's 434-8088.
Nova Scotia's aging population will create an unprecedented demand for accessible housing that can accommodate the mobility challenges seniors often face. Bathrooms present some of the greatest challenges in the home in terms of access and function for those who are aging or dependent on mobility devices. Here to tell us about some of the accessibility options for bathroom renovations is Chris Bowie from Beautiful Bath Renovations here in Halifax. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Vanessa.
So for people who are thinking about having a bathroom makeover, they're going to renovate, how do they even start that process?
The process typically starts where we come to the person's home and visit the homeowner and basically size up their bathroom and do a consultation and see what they're trying to accomplish and see what their bathroom, what their challenges are and what they're trying to accomplish.
So when it comes to a typical bathroom renovation, what is the timeline there? Is it weeks and weeks, months and months? I mean, every contractor seems to have a different answer for that.
A lot of people have heard these horror stories of their friend or family or neighbor, someone doing some kind of bathroom project, and it went on for months and months and months, and I always shake my head and say, what in the world took so long? And usually what it is, it's some kind of general contractor that's doing a lot of things. Maybe they've got roofs and decks and windows and, bathrooms is one small part of what they do, and they come and do work for a day and then they disappear for 2 or 3 weeks. And so that can be very stressful for homeowners when they're put in those kind of situations. But no, the way I've run my business for over 20 years is when we start a project, we work right through till we're done. And having said that, some projects we do are, a day or 2 day project if it's a fairly simple stuff, and other things we can do can take 2 weeks, but we work right through till we're done. We're there every day, and we just do bathrooms. So the other great thing about that, I think, is that we don't, we're not bringing in other people that are not used to doing bathrooms, and the guys that work with me have worked with me for years. So I don't want to sound arrogant, but we're good at what we do, and because we just do bathrooms, and so for that reason we're fairly efficient. So we're not, as much as we like visiting with the homeowner, we try not to overstay our welcome and get things done as efficiently as possible.
Well, and it makes a lot of sense to me. You're specializing in an area, you become an expert, and the people that work with you have all of the experience they need to be efficient with their time.
Exactly, because we're doing, even though every bathroom and every house is different, we're doing plumbing, we're doing tiling, we're doing, whatever it is the homeowner's looking for us to have done, we are quite good at it.
So when it comes to the ideal bathroom and then the budget ideal, I mean, sometimes there's two different wish list there. How do you deal with homeowners who want sort of the champagne bathroom on the beer budget?
That can be a typical challenging situation because part of the initial process is determining, what are they trying to accomplish and roughly what is their budget, because there's no sense me coming in and because sometimes what the homeowner asks for is a $20,000 project and, they're wanting to spend $5,000 or $6,000. So sometimes we have to kind of rein in the expectations of what they want with what reality is and, try and give them what they're looking for in their budget.
For those of you that are just tuning in, we're talking to Chris Bowie today from Beautiful Baths Renovations here in Halifax, and he's giving us some ideas and some tips and tricks when it comes to renovating our spaces there. And I would think for people with mobility challenges, if they do have tubs existing in their bathrooms, do you recommend either a roll-in shower, walk-in shower, like are shower seats still something that people do?
Great question. We do a lot of that, and probably almost half our business now is becoming accessibility oriented, and a lot of it is, and so often I get a lot of homeowners that are sometimes embarrassed, to even ask because they don't want to admit that they're having challenges stepping in and out of their traditional bathtub, and especially men. A lot of men are, they're happy with what they've got in their bathroom. It might be a 30, 40-year-old bathroom, but it works, and their attitude is, why change it? But, they're too embarrassed sometimes to come forward and say, so often it's the wife that will speak up and say, he's having a hard time getting in and out of the bathroom. He doesn't want to admit it, Chris, but this is what we need. And so often, and the other dilemma becomes in these older homes, they only have one bathroom. So they don't want us being in there for a week to 2 weeks. So we have some really cool solutions that we can give them a nice new shower or whatever it is they're looking for, we're only there a couple of days, so we're not there tying it up for a lengthy period of time. So that's a big part of what we do. And there's different kinds. Like we do a lot of these typical walk-in showers where we put in we'll take out a bathtub and put in some kind of a new shower base that's, maybe 4, 5, 6 inches in height, so it's much easier to step over than a traditional bathtub. And we're also doing more and more of these roll-in showers or low barrier type showers where they're even lower, because some customers having a 3 or 4 inch threshold is just too much. And like we had one customer here I can think of a few weeks ago, real nice lady, but she was having some serious mobility issues, and she had moved back in with some family, and it was actually the grandson and granddaughter that had called us because they were trying to find something to help their grandmother out while she was living with them, and they needed to take out the bathtub and create a nice walk-in shower that would be accessible. And so we initially the plan was to put in one of these acrylic shower bases with a seat in it, and it's about a 4-inch threshold. And when we took it in to show it to her to do the installation, because we always check before we put things in to make sure it's going to work, and she was like, well, I don't know. So we got her to test it, and sure enough, it was just going to be that 4 inches was going to be a challenge for her to step into. So we ended up, because of the unique situation of this older home, putting in a custom tile shower base that was about 1 inch high as far as a step over, which was acceptable to her, but yet still be functional to keep the water in the shower. So we run into some unique situations that sometimes we have to go with Plan B that that are going to work for the homeowner, because what we think is going to work doesn't always work. And interesting enough, in that situation I just described, we also, because the other younger family, was also wanting to use a shower. They did some cool upgrades on the plumbing. They put some of these body jets in and some kind of multiple shower heads that the grandmother wasn't too, she didn't really want or need those things, but she just wanted something accessible. But since there were other members of the family that were going to be using this, they had an interest level in some of these other kind of more modern faucets that she wasn't really too worried about. So we run into that kind of situation where sometimes you're blending different needs and what people want, and so it all turned out in the end. We had to go with a bit of a Plan B, and it created a situation where we had to take, I think it was about 3 days instead of 2 days. So, but those things happen, and she was fine with it. It all worked out, and she was happy with the end product, which is all that matters.
Customer service these days.
Got to make sure they're happy with what's done in the end. That's what makes and break everything.
Chris, thank you so much for being here today. For listeners that would like to get in touch with you, what is the best way?
Well, the traditional good old-fashioned phone number is certainly works, which is 434-8088. And we have, of course, our website. If you just Google Beautiful Baths, will come up, I'm sure. And we have actually on our website, we've got a really cool gallery, which you can go on and see pictures of some of these products and different things we've done, and it tends to help inspire people with some ideas. So certainly our website is great if you want to go on there, and then there's a place you can send an email, and we can certainly get your name and phone number and come take a look at whatever the project is.
Perfect. Thank you for being here today, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
It's time for another little break, and when we come back, we will have Brad Harnett from the Seven Lakes community in the studio. Brad is going to give us his take on why people are choosing to build their homes in Seven Lakes. Is it lifestyle, environmental concerns, or simple economics? You'll find out when we return, so stay tuned. It's an open house not to be missed. Join me, Vanessa Roman, Saturday, March 19th from 1 to 4 for the grand opening of the newest show home in the Seven Lakes community in Porters Lake. There'll be home tours, prizes, and lots of fun for the whole family. The Hillcrest is a stunning, ultra-energy efficient 2-story home from Denham Homes. With 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and a single garage. The main floor features an open concept design with a beautiful kitchen and spacious living and dining rooms. Have the home of your dreams in the beautiful Seven Lakes community surrounded by nature, with walking trails, a community garden, beaches, and even a toboggan hill. Don't miss the grand opening, Saturday, March 19th, in the Seven Lakes community located just off Exit 20 in Porters Lake. See you there.
When buying a home, it pays to shop around. The mortgage process can be intimidating, and many Canadians pay too much in mortgage interest. Hi, I'm Jack Cameron from Premier Mortgage Centre. I am here to help. As an independent Premier Mortgage advisor, I have over 40 lenders. I'll work with you to determine the best product for your needs. So whether you're buying a home, renewing, or refinancing your mortgage, I am here to help get the right financing from the right lender at the right rate. Visit me today at thewayhome.ca.
Choosing the right agent is key to getting the best real estate deal. Vanessa Roman is the right agent. Whether you're an experienced investor or developer or a first-time home buyer, Vanessa is a skilled real estate agent who will exceed your expectations. Vanessa specializes in military and RCMP relocations. So if you want to buy a new home or sell your existing property anywhere in HRM, choose the right agent, Vanessa Roman. Visit her website at vanessaroman.ca to learn more.
Selling a home?
A pre-inspection will increase showings and help you sell faster.
Homes with a pre-inspection provide buyers more info up front, which gives peace of mind.
A certified and insured inspection with a buyer's choice provides a detailed report with an itemized list of the condition of the home.
This isn't a simple task for just anybody.
Trust Zdenko Yorick and his team from A Buyer's Choice Home Inspections to inspect it once and inspect it right.
For more info, go to greaterhalifax.abuyer'schoice.com.
Most families find that less is more. When you look around your existing home, do you see any wasted space? The idea behind smart sizing is to make the intelligent decision to balance your lifestyle with your square footage requirements when building a new home. The ultimate goal is to create a strategic floor plan which gets you the home you want, but also minimizes your operational costs and the building's footprint. Here to tell us more about smart sizing in new home construction is Brad Harnett, who is the project manager of the Seven Lakes development in Porters Lake. Brad, thank you so much for stopping by today.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So what are some of the design trends that you're seeing in new home construction this year?
One of the big things we're seeing, especially out in our development right now, is a lot of people want to build their homes on a slab. They find basements, they don't use them. Even the younger families still don't want to have a basement. They tend to go with a slab, smaller footprint, smaller floor space, and people are getting away from the larger homes that not only cost a lot to build, but also cost a lot to maintain.
I read a study recently that was put out by the Canadian Real Estate Association, and they were talking about different areas across Canada. And in Nova Scotia, one of the top priorities for all home buyers this year is going to be increased energy efficiency. Is that something that you're seeing in the Seven Lakes development?
Yes, that's it's quite popular now for people to come in, and it's one of the first things that they really gravitate towards is the energy efficiency aspect of it. Size of windows, do they have energy efficient windows, what type of insulation are we using? There's those types of questions that most of the homeowners now are asking, especially folks that are coming in that have already lived in other homes and have had high heating bills. They're just looking at a way now to make it more cost effective, I guess.
Well, and that's it. I mean, especially around Halifax, there are so many different housing styles. And, you know, if you go to the south end of Halifax, for example, I know I have renovated houses in that area, and the walls were stuffed with seaweed and newspaper as insulation. So you can imagine the efficiency there is zero,
yes,
pretty much.
Exactly.
But these days, I mean, everybody seems to be talking about having a tight building envelope. And what does that mean exactly?
With the tight building envelope, you have no or very little or preferably no loss of air and heat through the wall, so you don't have any drafts anywhere. It causes issues in some regard with transfer of moisture from inside to outside. Actually, in one of our houses right now that we're finishing on site, it's just at the paint stage, so right now the heat exchanger is not hooked up, but the house is super tight. And with the paint inside and the heaters on, we have construction heaters. Walking in yesterday was like going into a sauna. I actually had to go and get a couple of dehumidifiers to go in there because the house is so tight, the moisture is not getting out. So in new construction now, you're putting in an air exchanger that will actually change that air for you as opposed to a drafty old house years ago. You walk in, you would find it cold, but you didn't have any moisture problems.
So let's talk a little bit more about your Seven Lakes community specifically. I know that one of the founding principles is something called conservation design. So what is that all about?
Conservation design is looking at creating a living environment or a subdivision a little differently, keeping nature in mind. When you're doing a conservation design, some of the things you look at first are, well, in the overall plan, before you start designing your roads, anything, you're looking at a large piece of property, mostly. You locate your wetlands, your rock outcrops. Do you have any old growth forest? Any interesting features? Is there any heritage on the property? Any old ruins, stone walls? Do you have any significant views? So those are the things you want to protect. Wildlife habitat, water courses. So those types of things you sort of isolate and you build your house or you put your roads and stuff in areas where you have the least impact on the environment. In our situation, it used to be a forested area at one time, so we sort of mimicked the forestry roads that were there for some of our main roads. We also took into account all the lakes, and we put our houses, stepped everything back from the lake. HRM has a 20-meter watercourse buffer. At Seven Lakes, ours is more like a 30-meter buffer. We just gave it a little bit extra. Conservation design, you design your development to fit within the 40% of the land, so 60% stays green forever. Unlike in a lot of developments where people go in and they see a green space behind them, and 10 years down the road it turns into another street. In Seven Lakes, if you see green space shown, it is green and it is deeded over with the property, so the homeowners actually have ownership of that green area.
For those of you that are just tuning in, we are speaking with Brad Harnett, who is the project manager for the Seven Lakes development out in Porters Lake. So, Brad, let's talk a little bit more about new construction. In your opinion, why is buying new construction better than getting a resale property?
When you say better, it's not better, I guess, for everyone. For most people, yes, new construction, what you pay for is usually what you want. You get what you want as opposed to buying someone else's wants. You also have more control over things like the insulation, size of the footprint, location of the home. You get to choose your own fixtures, your own features designed for you. Like I say, you're not buying someone else's wish list.
And when it comes to Seven Lakes, I know that one of the things that really appeals to me about that subdivision is that you guys have so many community spaces. You know, there was the butterfly gardens, the toboggan hill, you have the access to the lake, well, at least the first lake in the first phase, that Bell Lake, access for everyone. So tell me about some of that. What was the reason behind having so many amenities there?
Well, when you're building out in a nature-oriented subdivision like ours, you don't want just certain people to have access like to the lake. We have like maybe 12 lots that back on the lake area, but it's not really fair for everyone outside of that not to have access to the lake. And to protect the lake, we created a buffer, so even the folks that live with their houses backing on the lake do not have direct lake access. So you cut down on things like fertilizers, runoff from vehicles, salt from driveways or whatever getting into the lake. It gives that access for everyone through a common area. And with the conservation design, if you're keeping 60% of it green, you have lots of area for your backyard. I always tell people their backyard in Seven Lakes is not just a little area behind your house. You can have your house with no backyard. You can have trees almost up to your door. We just clear enough to build your house, and from there you can leave it natural. Your backyard is really those 60% of the green space with the walking trails, the lake access, the butterfly park. We have a fenced-in off-leash dog park. We have a restored wetland. Those types of things that you don't get in a traditional subdivision. But we wanted people to be able to enjoy that, and that's one of the things that attract people out there, that they like to walk the trails. If you go for a walk in your neighborhood in the city, it's a nice walk, but you're walking amongst traffic, and it's a little more congested, noisy, pollution or whatever. In Seven Lakes, if you go for a nice walk, it's down the gravel path through the woods down to the lake or down to the butterfly garden. It's more of a friendly type of environment than a hectic downtown of a city.
Well, Brad, thank you so much for being here today and sharing some of the benefits of new construction and especially building new construction in Seven Lakes. I know that you guys have an experience center where people can go and find out more about the subdivision, the lots, the neighborhoods. Where's that located? We're located at 5193 Highway number 7 in Porters Lake. If you take exit 20 into Porters Lake, we're right across from the stop sign when you get into the old Highway 7. And we're open 7 days a week from 11 till 7. And other times by appointment. And if you don't find us there, you usually find us up walking around the site. Brad, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
We are going to take a quick break right now, and then we will be back to wrap things up and let you know what is happening on the show for next week. Stay tuned.
Naturally remarkable. Discover the villages of Seven Lakes, a unique conservation-designed lakeside community just minutes from Halifax and a world away from the everyday. Featuring acres of beautiful trails, green space, and community amenities, and homes for many styles and many budgets. Visit the Seven Lakes Experience Center, open daily from 11 to 7 in Porters Lake, and view the model homes. You won't want to leave. Live large at Seven Lakes. Visit sevenlakescommunity.com.
Choosing the right agent is key to getting the best real estate deal. Vanessa Roman is the right agent. Whether you're an experienced investor or developer or a first-time home buyer, Vanessa is a skilled real estate agent who will exceed your expectations. Vanessa specializes in military and RCMP relocations. So if you want to buy a new home or sell your existing property anywhere in HRM, choose the right agent, Vanessa Roman. Visit her website at vanessaroman.ca to learn more.
When you need to renovate and you need a professional contractor to help you, contact Monk Renovations, a member of Nova Scotia Home Builders. Monk Renovations can install a window or double the size of your home. They'll manage the project and make your renovation visions come to life. Fully insured, Monk Renovations shows up on time, clearly communicates with you, and leaves your site clean. They are your trusted professionals. Monk Renovations, online at monkreno.com.
More than 9,100 Nova Scotians sold their home last year.
And they did it with help from their realtor.
Your realtor is your trusted guide throughout the buying and selling process.
They'll listen to your needs to serve your best interests.
They will share their knowledge and experience.
And they'll advance your home ownership goals.
Learn more about how realtors can help you at nsrealtors.ca.
John, when are you going to do that beautiful bathroom remodel you promised? Honey, is that Henry the handyman in our bathroom?
Here's Chris Bowie from Beautiful Baths Renovations.
When it comes time to remodel your bathroom, you could give Henry the Handyman a try, or you could call us. To celebrate our 20th anniversary of providing beautiful bath remodels, we have a special offer on now. Visit us online at beautiful-baths.ca or call us for your free in-home consultation at 434-8088. That's 434-8088.
And that's our show for this week. Downsizing is a real estate trend that isn't just for aging baby boomers any longer. Buying smaller, more efficient homes, otherwise known as smart sizing, is becoming more and more popular with buyers and sellers in all stages of life, as our guests this week have explained. If you would like to learn more, you can always visit my website at vanessaroman.ca. Up next week, we will be talking about military relocations. CFB Halifax is Canada's East Coast Navy base and the headquarters of Maritime Forces Atlantic. This means that many military families are moving in and out of Halifax every year. So what does that process look like? What assistance is available for these families? And how do these military moves affect the many people and businesses providing services to D&D employees? Tune in next week and I will have all of those details for you. I'm Vanessa Roman, and thank you for listening to Property Perspective.
You've been listening to Vanessa Roman's Property Perspective, brought to you in part by the Villages of Seven Lakes. If you have any questions, you can email Vanessa at contact@vanessaroman.ca. Vanessa Roman's Property Perspective is heard every Saturday at noon and Sundays at 8 a.m. only on News 95.7.